Information Technology Bhopal welcome you all. With the sponsorship of TEQIP3 RGPV Bhopal, Truba Institute of Engineering and Information Technology Bhopal organizing a webinar on recent
Harrison
developments and advances in CNC machining. I am pleased to welcome today's keynote speaker, Dr. Prashant Kumar Jain, Associate Professor, PDPM, Indian Institute of Information Technology, Design and Manufacturing, Jabalpur. I feel privileged to extend my warm welcome to Dr. S.C. Chaube sir, Coordinator, TEQIP 3 RGPV, Bhopal. Again, I am pleased to welcome Sri Shyam Rathore sir, Chairman, Truba Group of Institutes, and Dr. Raju Arya, Director, Truba Institute of Engineering and Information Technology, Bhopal, who have constantly extended their support and guidance. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Raju Arya sir, Director, Truba Institute of Engineering and Information Technology, Bhopal, to address us. Director sir, to you.
Thank you, Shrut.
Yes.
Good morning to all.
Good
The
morning.
speaker of today's event, Dr. Prashant Jain, Professor IITDM Jabalpur. Shri Shyam Rathore sir, Member BUG Truba Group of Institute Bhopal. Dr. S.C. Chaube sir, Coordinator TEQ RGP Bhopal. Head of the various departments, faculty members, and student of distinguished institutes. On behalf of Truba Group of Institutes, I feel honored and privileged to welcome all our guests, faculty members, and students of distinguished institutes for participating in this webinar on the topic recent development in advances in CNC machining. It's worth mentioning that this webinar is sponsored by RGPV under TCube3. It is a nice initiative of RGPV that through TCube3, a platform is given to make the student and faculty members aware with the latest development in every field through seminars, webinars, FDPs, SCTPs, etc., and to interact with eminent industry professionals and academicians. I would like to thank RGPV for sponsoring this workshop. I also express my gratitude to Dr. S.C. Chaube sir, whose guidance and continuous support encourages us to learn and share the knowledge about the latest trend in the technologies. As we all know that the computer numerical control, CNC machining, is the most promising technology for manufacturing. The CNC machine market is constantly growing and is predicted to have a global value of $93.5 billion by 2024. Much of the market growth will be driven by innovations. Much of the market growth will be driven by innovations and trends in CNC machine techniques. Development in CNC machine technology has not only reduced the cost of purchase, installation, and maintenance, but also provide better solution for customers and organizations. Furthermore, CNC machining services are becoming more streamlined and efficient, giving customers easier access to the technology. As compared to additive machining like 3D printing, CNC machining is subtractive process. CNC machining has become very popular because it can provide greater manufacturing accuracy and functions with several materials such as metal, plastic, and even wood. This session will provide an opportunity to understand different aspects associated with CNC machining and current advancement in CNC machining applications. I am thankful to Sri Shyam Rathore sir, Member BOG, Truba Group of Institute, who is always a resource for all of us and who always motivate and guide us in every situation. It is a proud moment for us that here you have given precious time for this event and encourage us by your gracious presence, sir. I am really thankful. I extend my gratitude to our keynote speaker, Dr. Prashant Jain, from IIITDM Jabalpur. It is a great pleasure for our institute that you accepted our request and taken out time of your busy schedule to guide our participants by giving exposure on recent development and advances in CNC machining. I congratulate the organizing team and Department of Mechanical Engineering for selecting such a relevant topic for the webinar. I hope that this webinar will definitely add value in academia, and next few hours will be highly fruitful and knowledgeable for you. Thank you all. Over to you, Shravan.
Thank you, sir, for your motivating words. Now, I would like to invite Shri Shyam Rathore, sir, Chairman, Truba Group of Institute, Bhopal, to address and guide us all. Shyam, sir, to you.
Thank you, everyone. Good morning, Chobe sir. Good morning, Jain sir, Rajiv, Shamim, Daniel, Shravan, and all the participants. I am again extremely thankful to all of you for giving me an opportunity and asking me to say few motivational words. Every time I say only one thing, that because of this pandemic, we are using the technology very well, and all the students are getting the knowledge at a very easy way of getting it, and there is not any problem or hurdles for them. They can take the knowledge from their home, from their places, on their computer, on their mobile, and they can upgrade themselves. So once again, I thank you very much, and I welcome Prashant ji, and a special thanks to Sunil Gupta sir and RGPV team and Chobe sir for giving us such kind of support. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you, sir, for encouragement and guidance. Now, I would like to invite Dr. S.C. Chaube, sir, Coordinator, TEQIP 3 RGP Bhopal, to address and guide us all. Chaube, sir, to you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sunil Sharma ji. Sri Shyam Rathore ji, Chairman, Truba Group of Institutions. Dr. Rajiv R, Director, Truba Group of Engineering and Information Technology. And the most important, Dr. Prashant Jain, Associate Professor, IIITDM Jabalpur. And Dr. Ahmad, all the HODs of EIT as the faculty members of all the affiliated institutions, and all the students and faculty who are participating on this virtual platform. I am really happy to note that Truba Group of Engineering, Truba Institute of Engineering and IT is organizing one-day webinar on NC machining. This topic really very important, though not new, but every other day technology is improving and new dimension is added. Every mechanical engineering students must be aware of the functioning of the NC machine, and we know that the practical aspect of NC machine is not covered much in our curriculum. And with this help of this seminar and with the active support of our speaker experts, our students will have a time to know not only the theory of NC machine, theoretical parts of the NC machines, but some kind of practical aspect which student has to face when they go in the field. We are talking about the Make in India, we are talking about the self-reliant India, where skill is required. India can move ahead, it can become independent in technology only when our students are sharpened with the skill in all such technology for which we are here. if institute wishes to have provide some skilling in the NC machine, students can visit to MSME either offline or online. TechTube 3 will provide all funding support, all the charges raised by MSME, TechTube 3 will provide. Even IIT Mumbai is also providing some courses on some subjects, mechanical engineering or maybe in emerging areas and electrical engineering. If institutions wish to provide that kind of instructions to their students, they can send the list of students and all expenditures which IIT Mumbai is asking from each institution or student, that will be borne by the TechTube 3. That will be deposit transferred to IIT Mumbai in advance. Only that the students should attend such courses, and these courses may be 4 weeks, 6 weeks or 8 weeks. There are different schemes under TechTube 3 where our students and faculty members can get benefited. One of the scheme where if any student or faculty has applied for patent, so all the fees, patent fees, whether it is a registration fees or agent fees, that can also be reimbursed by TechTube 3 office. MOOC courses, if they are applying for the certifications, and we have just yesterday I have gone through the number of students who was certified by NPTEL. We're also going to reimburse within 2 days, even maybe today. Always institute can encourage their faculty and students that all the schemes which is directly getting benefited by TechTube 3, they must avail. As TechTube 3 has been extended for another 6 months, now we have got ample opportunity to organize similar programs and maybe some programs for 15 days or 1 week, which addressing to the outcome to the students. With all these words, I wish a great success for this event and hope that the program, this type of program, will be helpful to our students and faculty. I am really thankful to Shyam Rathorji, Dr. Rajiv Are and Mechanical Department Head for organizing these similar programs in the past as well. And at this stage, we cannot forget to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, who has been provided all supports to all institutions for organizing programs, training programs, webinars for the students and faculty. And finally, I would like to thank to Prashant Jain, who has spared his time, and many times he is always ready to spare his time for the students and faculty of RGPV affiliated institutions. So it is now big time for TEBA institutions to catch this opportunity in the presence of the speaker, Dr. Prashant Jain. Thank you. Thank you very much. Over to you, Mr. Vishwakarma ji.
Thank you, sir, for your guidance and support. Now, I request to Professor Samir Daniel to introduce today's speaker. Over to Samir, sir.
Good morning, all the dignitaries and one and all present here. I am honored to welcome keynote speaker of today program, Dr. Prashant Kumar Jain, Associate Professor, Mechanical Department, PDPM, Indian Institute of Information Technology, Design and Manufacturing, Jabalpur, Madhya Pradesh. A brief introduction of Dr. Prashant Jain. Dr. Prashant Jain has over 25 years of research and technical experience at UG and PG level, graduated in Mechanical Engineering from Dr. Hari Singh Gaur University, Masters in Advanced Production System from SATI Vidisha. He has received a PhD degree in the area of rapid prototyping, additive manufacturing, particularly on the part strength studies in selective laser sintering process from Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi in 2009. Dr. Prashant K. Jain was previously with Delhi Technical University as a lecturer in Mechanical Engineering Department. He has also served Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi as a project scientist and research associate, where he was engaged in research work on error compensation in CNC machining and part quality improvement in focused deposition modeling. Currently, he is with PDPM IIIT Jabalpur as associate professor and dean students. He has more than 100 publications to his credit, published in international peer-reviewed journals of repute, national and international conferences in India and abroad. He has guided 5 PhDs and 25 masters and several ongoing. He has been a resource person and delivered invited lectures, chaired scientific sessions in several national and international conferences, HTTPs, and QIPs program. His research interests extend from geometric modeling, CAD-CAM integration, incremental sheet forming, computational geometry, rapid prototyping, and tooling, incremental sheet forming to nanotechnology in manufacturing. I share my heartily thanks to all the dignitaries who have been graced, we have been graced us by your presence, sir. Thank you all. Now I request Dr. Prashant Kumar Jain to start today's session, sir. And I request all the participants to kindly mute themselves. The question and answer session will be taken up at the end of the sessions, and participants are requested to drop their questions in the chat box. Over to you, Prashant, sir.
Thank you, Samir ji. My warm good morning to all. Dr. Arya, Professor Shyam Rathore ji, and a special thanks to Sri Chaube ji for taking this quality improvement program in Madhya Pradesh to its new height. Yes, he is very right. I have a special attachment because I also graduated. Earlier it was Dr. H.S. Gore University, but you can say it's RGPV. And when I did my master's from SATI Vidisha, it was RGPV who has taken over the charge of the entire technical education in the state. And it's nice to see these efforts have been made to upgrade the faculty and as well as students. And Chaube sir, I would like to congratulate you on this bringing this 5-day course plan. I found it is much useful in some of the institutes where you have granted the permission to conduct them a 5-day program. And today's topic we have taken on the CNC machine. So idea is this to discuss some basic concepts in CNC machining. Along with that, we would be discussing on the recent development in the CNC technology and what we can contribute. I would also focus on some of the things where our UG student, final year students, master's student can take up some project. As we all know, in the new national education policy, the government has realized and focusing on that a student has whatever the discipline, mechanical, CSE, EC, whatever, they should focus on the coding concepts, right? So they have to do the programming that I would talk in towards the last part of the today's session, that the computational intelligence, how to machine the sculptured surfaces like Bezier surfaces on the existing CNC machines, how we can upgrade our even low cost or simple machines to perform highly computational tasks. Right. So let us begin the today's session with a small video so that all the participants, students can understand the importance of the today's session first, what we have discussed so far. Adding to that, let me share my screen and run a video. Yeah, please confirm my screen in a presentation format available
Yes,
to
sir.
you.
Yes, sir. It is available on the screen.
today's topic we talk on the enhanced computational facility for CNC machining. And let me first come back to
Yes, sir. We are able to see the video.
can you also see the sound?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear the
Sound.
sound? Yeah. Fine.
Is there some audio also there, sir? Because we are not able to hear audio in that.
Oh, that I have to understand because there is a audio as well in this video. So
Okay,
that
okay,
because
sorry.
any machining video would be incomplete without the sound of the chip formation.
Yeah, yeah, sir. So audio we are not able to hear, but video is clear.
Go to how to
सब प्रेजेंटेशन का वो जो पेज है उसका उसको अनम्यूट कर दीजिए हो जाएगा।
किसको किसको या प्लीज टेल मी
तो जिस आईडी से आप प्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं उसका ऑडियो अनम्यूट कर दीजिए।
उसका ऑडियो अनम्यूट कर दें। अनम्यूट है
हाँ
तभी मेरी आवाज आ रही है।
जी हाँ, जी
नहीं
हाँ।
सर, जिससे आप प्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं जिससे वीडियो जिस पे आप प्रेजेंटेशन कर रहे हैं वो वाली, जिससे एक और
विजय
दो
वो
आईडी से
ऑलरेडी
प्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं
अनम्यूट
ना।
है।
प्रशांत, अरे प्रशांत जैन वाला अनम्यूट कहाँ है जो इसके
Vijay,
नीचे है?
Vijay,
जी सर।
participant is please mute yourself.
सॉरी सर।
It's okay. If anybody can suggest, yeah, you drop me in chat box
Yes, sir.
because my audio is available to you, and in this video there is audio, and my laptop is giving me that audio, but that audio is not transferred to this Google Meet. Here I want to highlight this. You can see on this screen. This is the off the center drilling has been done on the lathe machine.
क्या चीज?
We all know about the conventional lathe machines. We can do the center drilling by mounting a drill tool on the tail stock.
Sir,
Look at this. This is off the center drilling.
Prashant sir, just a minute. Can you share your screen using Chrome? Just try to share your screen using Chrome so that audio also might come.
Okay. This is I have shared the entire screen. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Let me come back. Let me come back. Yes, you might be right.
you can try that.
Okay, so a Chrome window, no, because this video is running in a Windows Media Player. Let me run a window.
सर पहले से आप अपने स्क्रीन में वीडियो को पहले से ऑन कर लें और फिर उसको शेयर करें।
Yes, my video is on the screen. Okay.
Now please present it, sir. Present the screen.
Can you see now?
हाँ सर, वीडियो तो आ रहा है लेकिन audio
now
is not.
this time I have shared the screen of that Windows Media Player only.
No, we cannot hear the audio, sir. direct from Google, from YouTube? Do you have that link, sir?
No, this is not YouTube video.
Okay, okay, sir. It is not on YouTube, no? Sir,
सर
Shravan
अगर
sir,
इसको,
can
नहीं नहीं, मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि अगर YouTube से अगर डायरेक्टली प्ले करेंगे तो वीडियो आ जाएगा, अगर क्रोम से शेयर करेंगे तो? सर इज दिस पॉसिबल कि अगर YouTube से इसको डायरेक्टली प्ले किया जाए?
Can anyone would like to mention the operation?
सर ये कह रहा था अगर इस वीडियो को डायरेक्टली यूट्यूब से चलाएं और उसको प्रेजेंट करें गूगल क्रोम से तो साउंड आ सकता है?
I doubt this is not an YouTube video. I doubt.
ओके सर, नो प्रॉब्लम, मशीन का साउंड है, यू कैन जस्ट एक्सप्लेन
Yeah,
टू द।
yeah. Okay. Right now we will do that, and then yeah, just 1 minute more.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, Samir sir, can you hear the sound from my another ID?
No, sound is still not coming.
Hello.
हाँ sir, sound is still not coming. We are able to view the video.
Samir sir,
जी
I
sir.
have using another. Samir sir,
जी sir.
among the participants, I have also used another ID. If you can
Okay.
unmute that ID.
Okay.
I tried, it is showing unmute.
You want me to unmute that?
Yes.
I mean, it's not showing to us, sir. I cannot unmute from my side. The software is not giving me permission to unmute you. सर आपका भी माइक म्यूट है सर, आपका माइक म्यूट है प्रशांत सर, योर माइक जिस पे आप बोल रहे हैं सर, दैट इज म्यूट.
Okay, then leave it, no problem. I tried to use another ID.
Yeah sir.
So let me skip that. Yeah, fine. I will stop that. I thought if I used a mic from another ID, so
Yeah.
might be that sound will come. Okay, that we have to find it out in the technology how it is going to happen when video is run here, and
Yep.
it's working
Still
very
lot
fine.
more things to explore.
Yeah. That's good thing.
And they are constantly upgrading the things.
No. Next time, because I am in my office, so I also have my desktop with me. I will run the video on both the systems and then again explore towards the session. I have 2 more videos to show everybody. So next video we will certainly somehow before the end of this session and we together will make that voice should reach to everybody.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Let's come back to the today's topic, enhanced computational facilities. So I will be introducing first the CNC machining access systems. And if participants, those who are not much aware about the CNC machining coordinate system, etc., you can drop me the questions in the chat box. I will be looking at in between, and accordingly, I will answer them or switch over or include some more slides even during the presentation. Right, please confirm my screen is visible.
Yes sir, it is visible. Yes sir, screen is visible.
Yeah, okay, fine. Okay, so just start with a little bit old CNC machine. You can see here there is a horizontal spindle, right? And a lot of tools are installed here to take an automatic tool changer, right? That is the beginning with the commercial CNC machines in around 1970s, right? Then look at this. This is the latest Okuma CNC milling center we have at IIITDM Center. I will be showing you. We have many more CNC machines, but the scenario has changed. And Samir sir has already told you this. You see the incremental sheet forming process we are doing on the CNC milling machine, right? And what is required for us in this case, that every time we need a simulation to be run, the part programming to be done, right? And then look at this view. What is I need to. This all kind of machining required computations. Why I am showing only this video, not going much details into that. Reason is that you require a lot of intersection calculations with different surfaces, with different tools, right? And then only you can find out this kind of tool path. Normally, what we used here for geometric modeling, that UG, Unigraphics, CATIA, etc., right? And the thing is that for machining we also have the ProE, the SpiritCam, the Delcam, the FeatureCam, MasterCam softwares available for us, which show us this simulation, and along with this simulation we can generate the G&M code program which we can directly run on our CNC machines, right? So look at this, how important is this. This is the 5-axis machining. Look at this, every time what is required, you require that your CNC machine tool should be perpendicular to the surface which it is approaching, right? See it again. Right, so here please understand the requirement is this 2 axis x y axis on the machine table and 2 more axis on the CNC table, right? So these two are the rotary axis, right? With these rotary axis and the third axis Z axis in the tool, right? Based on this tool axis, this every time has to maintain the perpendicularity, right? See here, this is a turbine blade fabrication is going on. So what is required here? This every time this tool should make a perpendicular angle at here, right? That's the requirement. Now look at this. These are the rotary tables now we are using on the CNC machines. So anytime we can make our machine to the 5-axis CNC machining, or else we can make our CNC machine 3-axis. So 2-axis additionally given on this rotary table. Now, if your software is not capable to synchronize movement of these 5-axis, you need to do separate programming for these 2 axis and remaining 3 axis with the existing your CNC machine. Look at this. One, the axis of rotation is this, right? Another axis of rotation is along this table here, right? Look at in this diagram. This table can be rotated about this center axis, right? In this way, right? And at the same time, it can be rotated about this axis. So 2 axes are made rotational, right? So this is the mounted on the horizontal machining center. So we can have now 5 axes. Look at this again, another view. Like this is the Z axis. You have the X axis movement in this direction. I hope participants have little bit knowledge of that, where the X axis lies, where the Y axis lies, or what is the principle we use to designate these axes, X axis, Y axis, right? If you want to share your views, you keep on typing in the chat box. So accordingly, I will keep on discussing, or I will skip few things so that I can talk on the programming part of the Bezier machine. So you see in this case, this is the X axis, this is the Y axis going inside towards the machine, right? And now look at this here, this is one axis, right? And another axis is along this. So this rotation can take place along this axis, right? Look at this, the huge ANSI system for large parts. Can anybody locate a operator in this picture? Drop me a message in the chat box. Let me also see the chat box. Fine. Right. Look at the size of the machine. You estimate the size of the machine like this. You see, these are the different pallets. Look at this, how much setup time is required to set these workpiece. I will show you another video. You have already seen one video where you can understand that hundreds of operations to be performed, right? And for hundreds of operations, you look at that machine setup should be very, very precise and accurate, right? Otherwise, we cannot perform the machining, right? Or a small mismatch in the dimension may lead to the rejection of the part, right? Look at this. This is the CNC machine, right? Machine chamber. This is the pallet, mounted 4 pallets, and these pallets, when this pallet, this table will rotate, right? And when this pallet will reach to this position, then it will be pushed to inside. So now that will reach to the machine chamber, and then machining will be performed. But many of the times what happens in the CNC technology, that setup time is much higher than the overall machining time, right? So you can see for a small machining, a few holes or some finishing to be done at this stage, but lot of setup for these heavy work pieces to be required, right? So these are done separately, right? You look at this here, the lot of separates, this is done. This is a separate pallet. Once it is done, it will be pushed onto this table, right? So this is known as the pallet changer in the today's CNC environment, right? We used to do. Now look at this. What is the requirement over here? Can you notice that if we machine this cylindrical surface, right? So with this machining center, if you see that every time your CNC machining tool is coming from the vertical, right? So this is a 3-axis machining. Okay. With this 3-axis machining, you see every time it will move like this, right? In this direction. And then coming back, what will happen? It will formulate a stair steps kind of thing. Everywhere you will have a stair steps. But suppose you want to have a smooth surface, what is required? Every time your tool should come from the normal to the surface. Look at this. In the second diagram, every time normal has been calculated, right? So we can have X, Y, Z value for any point. And then we can have after the XYZ values, we can also have the rotation angle alpha and beta about x-axis and y-axis, right? That's why we need to calculate the surface normal. Can anybody comment on that? How to calculate normal to a surface? Any surface is given to you, and how to calculate a normal. For example, suppose I say about that, you can see in my hand a small sphere kind of thing, right? So with this sphere, you know where the normal will lie, right? For this surface, every time this normal should be like this, right? I would be moving this, so this surface normal would be keep on changing, right? Okay, so can you tell if it is any sculpture surface, we don't know it's the same, right? If it is a sphere, I always know that I should know a point on the surface, and the normal will always be towards the center of the sphere. Is it correct? Every time my normal will be facing towards the center of the sphere.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can. The all other students keep on typing, right, in the chat box. I learn a lot today's this session. So now in today's session, I am using 2 systems simultaneously, because in the Google Meet, when I went into the presentation mode on my laptop, I can see only my screen, my presentation screen. So even sometimes it happens I have been disconnected due to some power interruption, and I was not even aware about that my internet connection has been already broken. So now today I am using 2 ID, and I can read simultaneously your chat box on my desktop screen. So look at that, this normal to be calculated, and for any sphere, so we always calculate the tangent in two parametric directions, and their cross product will give us the normal on that surface, right? So that's the equations. We talk on some other time for computational part. This kind of computations we need to do for CNC machining, and you can find lot of books which talks about the computations required for manufacturing, right? You see, whatever the cut plan you take, lot of calculations are involved into that. So let us move to the part program part, right? If you have not done, look at that how our first part program will look like. See, this is the question. I square 2 by 2 inch to be milled. The diameter of the end mill cutter is 1/2 inch, right? Now you see, we set this as a data point, 6 sixes, right? So we know this would be the 8, sorry, and this would be the 8 in x-axis. Here it would be 8 by 8, right? Okay, so look at this, how we write the program. We make this lower left corner as 6 6, right, and use the tool rows radius compensation. So our tool path would be like this, right? And if it is 6, we know what it should be. It should be 5.5. How I come to conclusion that it should be 5.5? Anyone? Right, I have shifted this tool path by the radius of the right, 1/2 inch radius of the end mill cutter. So I have moved it away, right? Now look at this, how we keep on writing. In the CNC machines, here the computational intelligence come. We can already apply the compensation. So all the movements will automatically be shifted like that. So look at in the first program, we write G41, right? Are you aware about the G code and M codes? Right, in part programming, we use like that. Yeah, Vidush Sharma. Yes, very fine. So we have the G code as a proprietary code, right? And M code for the miscellaneous function. So G41, we have the begin compensation, right? We have the spindle speed 1000 RPM. We have the feed rate 5, right? And the spindle on, right? Then this is the rapid traverse. Our milling tool will reach to 6 6, the lower left corner, right? Then we have G01 taking a 0.1 millimeter, sorry, 1 millimeter depth drill, right? Then we start the slot milling. So initially we have the Y8. In this case, what will happen? Z will remain same, X will remain same, right? So this is moving towards the upward direction, right? Because we have taken Y8. So this would be the Y8 and this position, right? And X will remain same. So we have the X8, right? Then you come to the X8, then Y6, then Y6. So it will complete the cycle, right? So based on this, our part program would be completed in this manner, right? Now see another part program, right? So what we have in the part program is the step-by-step instructions in the form of numbers, letters, symbols, right? And when we group and make it a complete logical information, then we call it a log, right? Now this CNC controller will interpret this program, then issue the series of commands to stepper motors, servo motors, or whatever the other controls are there, right? Then you look at this for this kind of turning operation. So we set the 530 initially, then this 5.5 in the Z direction, right? So accordingly, we write this program. So we have these codes, right? Go to the home position, tool change, tool number 3, coolant on, then spindle on with 1200 RPM, rapid traverse to X42 Z1. So this would be, tool would be somewhere here, right? Then you come here, the next step, G01. So every time you get it down, right? And then do start the machine, right? Now look at this. If we have to do this kind of cutting operation, what is required? Every time your tool would be situated here, then every time your tool has to reach to up to this point, right? Then you start machining and coming back and going back, right? Then you go downward, then go again, take a cut like this. So every time we need to perform this calculation by our manual calculator or whatever the best solution you can find. And now look at this. If it is a taper cut, what is required? We may not be knowing this length, right? Similarly, here we may not be knowing this length. So either you are going to use trigonometry based on the tapered angle, what the length should be coming, or you can also use some equations where you know this is a straight line, right? And this is another straight line parallel to z-axis. So you can find out this intersection point, right? So every time you find this intersection point, then take the tool back to some height and then go back at the retract height, right? And then go back to the outside the billet and then go downward like this, right? So if you have this kind of taper cut, you can plot several straight lines and find out their intersection points like this, right? So your tool has to move up to this point, right? And then you see here, suppose I ask you to develop a CNC program and this drawing is given to you, right? For this drawing, what is required? You need to plan how the machining is going to be take place, right? So look at this. This is the first cut, second cut, third cut, fourth, fifth, and then sixth cut in a single path, right? So this is the planning to be done for developing any CNC part program, right? For any CNC part program, look at this, how we calculate. See another, look at this, this is the first cut. So you are starting from here, then going up to this. What is requirement? You require the coordinates of all these 4 points, which is now to be amalgamated with the G&M code to make a complete part program, right? So for this kind of planning, you need to find this coordinate for first, second, third, fourth, fifth, all the coordinates. Now look at this for say complete operation, you need this kind of calculation, right? So here with the circular interpolation, linear interpolation means G01, G02 and 3, depending on the clockwise and anti-clockwise circular interpolation, you have to find it out, right? So this calculation to be done. Now look at this, some more typical situation where you need to calculate something more, right? Look at this, what is happening here? You see here, this is a SolidWorks drawing, right? So inside this blue color part has to be cut, right? So what is required? Your tool has to move every time from this. Cutter diameter is given 0.5 inch, right? So what is required? You see the coordinate of this point is given x4, y4, z0, right? Now we want P1. So the x of P1, right? We want x of P1. So x of P1 would be like this, right? This is what we have already talked. 4 is the coordinate already known to you, and now you are shifting to the left side. So the radius of the cutter diameter 0.25 be shifted, right? So you have got 3.75. Now for y, can anybody comment how I can find it, the y of it? Anyone would like to say? You can unmute when I ask you to comment, or you can quickly drop your comment on the chat box. Anybody can find it out how we can calculate the y of it. We can use geometric calculations, we can solve the equations, we can also use the trigonometry. Any comment from the participant side?
Participant can write in the chat box.
If yeah, you can write either you, yeah.
Or you, if possible, they can unmute and directly have an interact with our speaker, Dr. Prashant Kumar Jain.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Samir. All the participants, I would request, and after each 10-15 minutes, I will get back to you. So let us have some interaction, not only the one-way kind of thing, because if we have the one-way communication, then lot of SWAYAM course, MOOC course, NPTEL, Coursera is available for everybody, right? And the better lectures than this are already available on the YouTube and many other online platforms. So I just want that when we are available online to each other, then let us interact. So quickly write your questions in or your views, not questions every time. I will not say the questions, but can you tell? I have shown the result as well, right? Can you see that trigonometrically? Can anybody would like comment that how this 45, 90 degree and 67.5 degree angles are calculated, right? Look at this. This will make 360 degree, and once you know this angle, right, depending on the geometry, right? So based on this, you can apply the Pythagoras and you can have the trigonometry. So 4 minus 0.25 into 1067.5. And finally, you got the y of P1 would be 3.396. Right? This kind of calculation you need to do. My question is this here, can we develop the macros in SolidWorks? Can we develop our own codings, own programs, which can help us to find out these offsetted geometry? Here you see the requirement is this blue color geometry is given to you and the red color geometry is required, right? If you go in AutoCAD, you can simply pick that polygon and you can offset it, right? So if we offset it, we need the new these color red color dots coordinates for my program, right? Achha, anybody is heard about the AutoLisp programming? Anyone? Please drop a message in the chat box. AutoLisp. You all, I am sure you all of you have used the AutoCAD or ZWCAD, right? So have you heard about the AutoLisp? You have all your system, you can Google it immediately. Yeah, Chitrans, not yet. Depends Kumar. Anyone else? Yeah, quick. 72 participants are there. At least 15 answers should come quickly. So that accordingly, I will keep on moving. Where I should emphasize and where I could leave it. No answers? Okay, fine. Look at this, how we calculate this circle, because you look at in this, what is going to happen? This is the center of the circle for this blue color geometry. But for making this semicircle from here to here, your tool will be moving from this point to up to this point. This would be the center. So you need to calculate these two intersection points again. Then accordingly, this tool will move up to this point. Right? So that has to be taken care again. Right? Look at this. Once we calculate all these things, what is going to happen? Right? Here you see, if you can also check in the SolidWorks, this kind of situation. You can click on it and get all these coordinates directly from the SolidWorks. Question is this, if you calculate all these points from the SolidWorks, can you convert them? Can you export them in an Excel file? Can you export them in a text file? And can you convert these coordinates in a part program, right? So if you complete all these equations and calculate all these points, look at this here. If there is a circle, right? So you want this, the circle equation to be set intersection. So you see the calculation of, this is the well-known circle equation, right? So you made it assuming that this is the 0, 0 for a movement, right? So if you assume this 0, 0, the radius would be 0.75 and you 0, right? And this y line y, straight line y, 0.25. If you, this is 0, 0, then this is the line going at 0.25. So by intersection of this, you can find it out, x plus minus and then y plus minus, right? So based on this, here 1x, here another x. Similarly, you will get 2y value. So these xy value with respect to this point, assuming as 0, 0, right? Then accordingly, you can find out and shift it these values when this is your 0, 0, right? In terms of this point, right? Now, look at this. After calculation of the center, we can write our part program. So we can start n, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 like that. And then we continue with this program. So we can mention all the coordinates. Remember, this is P1, like this. All these coordinates values are to be completed. Fine. So this is going to happen with our part program. And here my purpose of discussion all these things to emphasize the computations required for your part program, right? So you should think like that, how we can calculate and how we can convert this into the part program, right? And when we start writing the part program, what we do, we start with this G&M code, right? So we call it a block, right? This is the block, these are the NC words, and this one block will make a complete useful information for CNC machine, which CNC machine can execute, right? So these are the various G&M codes. Now little bit come back to the, again, when we start with the linear interpolation, you look at this, we give this point, end point and the start, right? So this is for the linear interpolation, right? And accordingly, you see this part program has been written, right? 71, 97, 94. So millimeter mode, constant RPM, feed in millimeter per minute, then go to home position, tool change, spindle RPM, coolant on, then rapid traverse to the this position, 42 somewhere here, right? So your tool will come from this point to this point. Okay, then look at this. Then X39, you are ready for the first cut. Now you have given the command G01 and now it will take your first cut. Then G00 Z1 going back, then again right. So it will come up to this point, going back and then go back. Right? So when you mention here Z minus 50, this is the Z minus 50 value. Okay. This is how we write the program, and once it is completed, we ask the tool to go back to the home position. Then write spindle off, coolant off, program stop and rewind. Right? So this is the first program with the linear interpolation. Right? Similarly, we can go for the circular interpolation. Right? Now, what is happening here? Suppose in this case, let us see on this case. What has happened? We have taken the one cut, two cut. Assuming that this is an aluminum material, I could have taken 2 millimeter cut, right? But suppose immediately I have been given a MS, so I may have to take, instead of 2 millimeter, I may require 0.2 millimeter, right? But suppose SS is given, then again the depth of cut would be more or less. Then suppose I am working on tungsten or some other material or titanium, then the depth of cut may be very, very less. What will happen? For one cut, right, I need to write a block of 4 lines. Right? For one complete cut, I need a block of 4 lines. Right? So my tool will go down, take a cut, and then come back, right, and then reach back to position. So I need to write 4 lines of a G and M code program for one cut. When it was 2 millimeter, it was quite simple. I have wrote it, right? But suppose the depth of cut is 0.02 millimeter, then 20 cuts would be required, right? So in that case, what is going to happen? I need a canned cycle, right? So some CNC machines provide the canned cycle facilities, some don't, right? So what we do in the canned cycle, it's a predefined machine instructions available on the CNC machines, right? So this we can initiate it by a single G code, and you see there is a huge, a big program, right? But what we can do over here, right? Instead of this, we write a small program mentioning G71, and different cycles are there. But right, then we have this G&M code program like that, right? So what we can do here, we can only define the geometry, and rest of the calculation will be done by the machine control. How you see here, the method I already talked, have a straight line. So this is your profile, right? This is the profile to be machined, right? Then what is going to happen? We can cut from the straight line, we can have a taper cut, right? And then from these intersection points, we can ask the machine tool to go back to the upward direction and move back, right? So that is going to happen with the canned cycle, right? I hope the purpose of canned cycle and structure of canned cycle is clear. Look at this little bit with more clarity. You can say here, right? We can assign here the depth of cut. I will again talk on the structure again. Right? So we can say depth of cut, we can say the retract height, we can say the starting block number, we can say the end block number, right? We can say the finishing allowance in X direction, finishing allowance in Y direction, right? Then we can have the end of canned cycle. We can also define the finishing cycle, right? So based on this, we define the canned cycle, right? Now look at this, how canned cycle will work. There are different canned cycles. Mostly we use commonly 3, particularly for turning. I'm not talking about drilling. N number of canned cycles are available, right? And that those canned cycles are vary with different machine to machine, right? Now look at this. You see these red points, right? Red points to be added, and blue color dot is the intersection point. So based on this, you see the first cut is done. Second cut, tool back. Third cut, this is third cut. Now tool back. Fourth cut, now tool back. Fifth cut, now tool back, like this. Now look at this, what is going to happen in this situation, because tool is back from here. There would be a steps kind of thing. This is going to happen, right? So here there would be steps. So in final cut, it will go like that, the profile. So these steps would be removed. Now you see again, there is a gap. What is this? This material is left for the finishing part. So once this is done, you see final cut will take place from so that it can finish, right? Now look at this. These are the various CNC machines we have available at IIITDM Jabalpur. We have the milling machine of AMCO. We have the Amada punching machines, right? And we have the printed circuit board machine, like injection molding machine, all numerical control, the water jet, the Okuma turning center, right? And Okuma machining center, I have already shown you, right? Punching and bending machines, right? Similarly, the automatic turning machine, right? Now let me show you what we have discussed so far is about the canned cycles, right? Now here I am just presenting you one of the case study project, or you can say a published paper, right? In this published paper, what I am going to show you is that how we perform the simplification of canned cycle. Now look at this, there is a contradiction. And what is that contradiction is? I have talked that the Kent cycle will help a lot, right? But it should be available on the machine, na? Right? And all the machines don't have, or even you can say all the machines, we can buy a machine which have the Kent cycle, but the cost would be a factor, right? So if I have a very low cost machine which cannot perform the Kent cycle operations, or which does not have the facility of Kent cycle, right? So what I can do, I can develop my own utility which can convert my Kent cycle program into a simplified program. What does it mean here for the simplified program? Anybody? We need to understand here what is the program with the Kent cycle and what is the program known as the simplified program, right? Can anybody tell? Please unmute yourself and let me know. What is your understanding so far about the simplified program and part program with Kent cycle?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, in simple part programming, we can use a statement block. With the help of a statement block, we can make a program like an GM code with the help of GM code or XY IJK coordinate system. But sir, in Kent programming, sir, I don't know actually about Kent programming.
Okay.
I only know about
Anybody else?
Thank you, Vidya.
Anyone else would like to say something on that? हाँ राजेश, 1 बजे आना, लेकिन 1 बजे 12:45 आ जाओ. Yeah. So here I would like to specify that when I talked about the simplified program means that you have the program with only linear interpolation, right? And the Kent cycle program will define your geometry, your profile of the machining surface, and your length of the program will be very, very less, right? But your machine should be capable to calculate those profiles, right? So Kent cycle facility would be available, right? What I am presenting here, for a low cost machine, we don't have this facility, right? So what we did here, we can made a utility, right? Which software utility will convert this Kent cycle part program into a simplified part program and remove the Kent cycle. So when I write a part program for a CNC machine which does not have the Kent cycle facility, right? So I will write a program for a high-end machine. My program length may be 10-20 lines, and I will run it on my software utility, which will convert this program into a simplified program, and which may have more than 1,000 lines or 2,000 lines, right? So that is the thing we developed in this. Look at this, how we do this, right? We have this, right? So for this type of methodology for single facing cycle, we can do 4 operations we can club together, which will include the taper as well as the simple turning. Now similarly, turning and facing both we can do, right? And then we can come to the multiple turning cycle I have discussed here, right here. So all the intersection point will be calculated. Accordingly, 4 points would be added, and then we can write a part program, right? So look at this. This is the facing cycle. What is happening in facing? We have the machining or material removal takes place perpendicular to the direction of revolution or axis of revolution, right? And now look at this in both these 2 cycles. What is the similarity? Every time my tool is coming perpendicular to the, right, perpendicular to the, in this case, perpendicular to the axis of revolution of facing. In case of turning, what has happened? Every time my tool is coming parallel to the axis of revolution, right? So what is the problem in this case? Suppose I have this kind of geometry, right? sorry, right? And suppose I need to make this kind of workpiece, right? What is happening whenever my tool come from this side? What is going to happen? Tool will come like this, and it will try to approach this portion. When it try to approach this portion, it will remove this portion. Got it? It will already be machined. Even from, if I take from the facing to reach up to this point, what will happen? This will remove this portion. So in this situation, what we will have a pattern repeating cycle where the tool is always moving parallel to the geometry of the workpiece. Like look at this, this is the geometry. So the tool will move like this. First cut. Look at this, second cut. Third cut. Right? So in this way, the machining would take place, but it is time consuming because every time it has to trace the profile, right? And even in the first cut, what is going to happen? The material would be like this, right? So look at this. In the first cut, this much material be only removed. The remaining portion is idle. Second time, this much portion be removed. The tool will idle. So there are advantage, disadvantage of all three CAM cycle, but they are defined for the convenience of the user. Okay. Now look at this, what we have done in this case. Suppose this workpiece to be machined. So we have taken here the turning cycle. We have taken here the facing cycle. We have taken here the multiple turning cycle. Look at this. These are the two machines. You see, this is the concept turn 250 MCO machine, right? What is happening? This machine can run the CAM cycle. So I can write a very, very simple program. This is an Envirotech made very small CNC machine, right? This machine does not have the capability to have the CAM cycle, right? Look at this. When I wrote a program for this machine, right? The lines are total 32 lines of the program, right? This program I loaded to my software utility and converted this into the simplified part program, right? Simplified part program means without the CAM cycle, right? So I have deleted some lines in between. You see the lines are 140, right? And this is the simulation on the MCO machine. Envirotech machine does not have any facility for simulation, right? So I hope you got what is the advantage into that, right? Advantage into that, I wrote a program for 32 lines, which is automatically converted by the developed utility to 140 lines, and which can be run on different machines, right? Now look at this next. Right? Look at this. Suppose I need to change the depth of cut. What is going to happen? Initially, suppose I have the 2 millimeter depth of cut, right? So what happens? The number of lines in a CAM cycle program is 27, but the number of lines in simplified program is 83. But actually, how many lines I have wrote? I have wrote 27. Now look at this. The depth of cut, if I take it to 0.1 millimeter, right? I need, because of the 3 CAM cycle, so I have need to wrote the number of lines up to 130. Even if I have taken into the, if I have taken into that 130 lines, then what is going to happen? With 0.1 millimeter depth of cut, right? With 3 CAM cycle, I am going to write 130 lines, right? But when it is converted into the simplified program, the total number of lines are 1200. See the advantage. As a user, I would be writing only 130 lines converted to 112 line, and this machine would be able to perform the CAM cycle just like this machine. The huge difference in cost of both the machines, right? So that's the advantage we get in this process, right? Then let me show you another case study. Before that, okay, let me run a video. Let me try so that you can understand in a better way. Let me see which movie I have tried. Yeah, Yeah, just look at this video. Can you see the video? Excuse me. Yeah, can you see that
Yes, sir.
video?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. We can see the video.
Let me run from another window as well, from another system. I hope we will try to show you the sound. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Sound is also coming.
Yeah, can you listen the sound as well? Can you listen the sound as well?
यस सर, आप जैसे पास रखते हैं उसके तो साउंड आता है. अभी साउंड आना बंद हो गया सर. प्रशांत सर.
हाँ.
अभी साउंड आना बंद हो गया सर. पहले आ रहा था, स्टार्टिंग में एकदम से आया था.
ठीक. चालू करके बस सेट करके फिर बंद कर. चल रहा है मोबाइल डेटा. समझ जाए रोज अपना फोन काट रहा हूँ. मैसेज किया तो.
No.
Right? Yeah.
Yes,
Samir
sir.
sir, I
Ji, sir.
hope the sound was okay this time, right?
No, sound was no. We could not hear at times. At times.
Yet times, na? There is a time lag, na?
Yeah. No, मतलब most of the sound we could not hear, sir. But the at मतलब बहुत ही थोड़ा सा ही समय में हमको साउंड सुनाई दिया सर. बाकी समय में साउंड नहीं था. ऑलमोस्ट नहीं था.
एक मिनट, इसका मतलब इसने ऑटोमेटिकली कुछ करेक्शन किया है गूगल
जी
मीट
जी
ने,
जी जी.
है ना? क्योंकि मैंने क्या
हाँ सर.
किया था,
क्योंकि शुरुआत में
मैंने
आपका थोड़ा सा आया, उसके बाद नहीं आ
मैंने
पाया.
मैंने दूसरे सिस्टम पे उस सेम मूवी को चलाया
जी जी सर.
और आई थॉट कि उसका जो साउंड आ रहा है वो जैसे मैं स्पीक कर रहा हूँ उसी तरह से ये इसको पिकअप कर लेगा. Okay,
जी.
we have another video at the last. Let me explain this Bezier surface machining first. Please confirm my screen is visible in PowerPoint presentation mode.
Yes sir, it's visible.
Fine, fine. So now let us talk on the Bezier surface, right? So in this case, what has happened? Even whatever the machines we are discussing or video we have seen so far, they are also not capable of running the Kent cycle for these kind of things, right? Somebody was mentioned in the chat box that the contour machining, right? So in contour machining as well, what is required? We normally convert all the contours in a small linear segments, right? If you talk about the CNC machine, they have the linear interpolation and they have the circular interpolation. If you want to have a ellipse, parabola, hyperbola, they don't have any facility directly. What actually they do, you can take a ellipse, hyperbola, or in this case Bezier curves, B-spline curves, non-uniform rational B-splines. They have cut in a small portion of small linear segments. Okay, so like this, suppose this is a Bezier curve. I'm not going into details of the Bezier curve. You can Google it, or some other time if we find some other opportunity, we will certainly discuss. Like this is a synthetic curve, need not to go from all the data points, and it's very intuitive curve, right? So a lot of properties of this curve, right? And suppose this type of curve or CNC surfaces to be generated at CNC machines, a lot of calculations involved, right? I'm not going into the details of calculation. Only thing, suppose this is the curve, and for turning cycle, I have these horizontal lines. For facing cycle, we have the vertical lines. We can calculate these intersections, right? Once we calculate these intersections, we can convert this into the part code, right? So we have developed a new kind of Kent cycle which allow the machining of the Bezier curve, right? So here we have the start of Kent cycle. Here we have depth of cut, retract height, and that is the linear segment. When I mention A1000, means whatever the length of Bezier curve would be divided into the 1000 linear segment. You can have 10, you can have 100, right? But it will do the linear approximation in between that. So what does it mean? Suppose I have this is a Bezier curve, right? And if I say 1 means my CNC machine will start move from here. Only thing. When I say 2, then machine will go to this point and then come back, right? When I say 4, then machine will go like this, right? This calculation. So you got, when I say 10, more small segment. When I take 1000, it will be more close to the actual curve. So depending on the requirement, we are capable to do this, right? Then you have this block number, the start at the geometry, end of the geometry, then finishing allowance in both the directions. Then you have the end of Kent cycle and also the finishing cycle. So this is the remaining part is the same like a Kent cycle. Only thing, this Kent cycle will calculate the points for the Bezier surface machining, right? So look at this, we have developed this utility in MATLAB, and in this case we can draw a Bezier curve in the MATLAB screen itself, just like other professional softwares. We can simulate it, and once we simulate it, we can see the part simulation as well. And apart from this, we can write a part program which can directly uploaded on the CNC machine, right? This also has some computational intelligence. If such kind of cusp is generated, it will tell the user, okay, there is a cusp. This cannot be done by the single turning or facing side, right? So here I would like to end, but before that I would like to show you that MATLAB program as well, how it has been implemented, right? So with thanks, I'm before saying, and let me come back to the MATLAB screen. And in this time, whatever the questions you have, please type in the chat box, right? Let me come back to the MATLAB in the meantime. You see, I'm running this MATLAB code. How many of you are aware about the MATLAB programming? Yeah, please type on the chat box. And in the meantime, just see that the utility. I can select these points. You see, I'm running the MATLAB code on my screen. Right? Then I will draw a Bezier curve. So see, this is the Bezier curve. Right? Then I set the datum. Now see, this point has reached to the 0, 0 location. So all the transformation has been done. Then let me run the turning cycle. So I'm running a turning cycle, right? So I set the depth of cut 1, retract height 1, finishing offset 2, finishing offset for Z direction, and total finishing allowance for both, right? So here, if I need to allow the finishing allowance to run this machining, I set 1. I'm not changing any parameter, but you look at this, this is professionally developed utility. So within a dialog box from the window, another dialog box is appeared to select the parameter, right? See the simulation. Right now, not only this, you can see the part. We have created some more buttons as well. You can rotate and you can see this part of the CNC machining, how this part will look like, right? Look at this curvature, right? Can you see this curvature? What is going to happen here? Let me zoom it. Can you see that this is not your circular interpolation simply, right? Right? So that is going to happen, right? Okay, now not only this, what else we can do here? We can create it the G&M code program. So if I write the G&M code program at this stage, look at this. It is just like a professional software asking me to select the file name, right? So if I have a file name like that, say, let me say Truba, right? You can see here the working directory. The file would be created here in the working directory. Let me put Truba. And let us check in the working directory. Yeah, you see, this is the new file created. Let me open it outside the MATLAB. Like this, this is the advantage, right? And you see how simplified it. If you look at it out, these so many lines program, right? What I did simply, I made a selected few points. Let me run again so that you can see. Yeah. Look at this. I'm just simply breaking a few points, right? Bezier curve, right? Datum, turning cycle, accept the default parameters, the simulation you can see. Right? Now look at this. You can see the view part. This would be the shape, right? No circular interpolation, nothing like, right? You understand? Those who are working on CNC machines are teaching, are learning CNC machine. You see, I write the program, right? Previously, we have written the Truba. So let me make changes. Let me put it Truba 1. Okay, save. Look at this in the working directory. Not yet. Yeah, Truba 1. New program has come. Look at this. See this. For this case, this is the program, right? So that's the situation. All these new coordinates have been calculated, converted into the G&M program. I can copy this program, and this we have synchronized are more calibrated with our Okuma CNC milling machine. So I can load this program directly to my CNC Okuma milling machine, right? So that's the way how we can do some kind of work where we can take up some projects. Or else, as a engineers, I don't think this is our only the small task that we can make some good components on a CNC machine, right? So I can show you a lot of components behind my chair made on the CNC machines, but that is not our purpose, right? So here, as a engineer, we have to think about how we can enhance the capability and be the part of the CNC machine development or improvement or the new technologies to come for the CNC machines, right? So this is the MATLAB. I couldn't see any more questions in the chat box. Yeah, Dr. Sabir, please suggest me if there is any more questions. I can wait. Would love to answer those questions. I can run another video as well. If participants are interested, we can even close the session as well.
Any questions from participant side? Participants can ask question to Dr. Prashant Jain, sir.
Okay, let's have one more video. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I am running another video. Let me put my
सर आपको वीडियो का भी साउंड ऑफ है. वीडियो का जो साउंड, सर वीडियो का जो आपका साउंड है, वीडियो का साउंड ऑफ है.
नहीं, आपको आवाज आ रही है यहाँ से?
नहीं सर.
मैंने वीडियो,
सर आपके आवाज नहीं आ रही है सर. इको हो रहा है बिकॉज ऑफ द टू मिक्सिंग ऑफ द टू साउंड्स. दोनों तरफ से.
एक मिनट, मैं इसको म्यूट करता हूँ पहले. एक मिनट, अभी आप इसको सुनिए जरा. एक ये आवाज आ रही है क्या आपको?
जी सर, इको इको क्या आ रही है अभी? यस सर, कुछ आवाज आ रही है. Sound has gone, sir. मैं बोलूं।
नहीं लगा रहे थे, नहीं लगा रहे थे। राजन, तो आ गए यहाँ पे बात की और बोल देना जरा मुझे पता। ये लोग तो ट्रांसफर हो रहा है, लेक्चर चल रहा है। ये राहुल है, इसलिए चलो पाठ हो गया। Yeah, Dr. Sameer, I will stop sharing my screen. I think now we can close the session. If any more questions from the participants, I would love to discuss with them. Some of the questions I have already answered with my different ID on the same.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So,
Yeah, Vidyut Sharma is asking for Kent Cycle's special type of controller. It's not required. It's Fanuc or Siemens or Hederen. It's depend on the different machine manufacturer and supplier, what kind of Kent cycle they are provided on different machines. Pooja Kumari, CNC machine, yeah, okay. This is all available in the machine brochures, etc. What the power consumption is there. You can't say the CNC machine how much power it will take. If you have a LED bulb, if you have a normal bulb, a tube light, that depends on you, how much power you are going to consume. But power requirement you can calculate depending on the workpiece.
any other participants who would like to ask any questions? So,
Sir, I have a question. Yes, sir, is there any algorithm for Bezier curve?
Yes, that is what I shown you. There is a algorithms. You need to develop your own algorithms. Many things in the computational geometry already available. And then you have to implement it. What the implementation I have shown you for Bezier curve machining and the CNC milling machine.
Okay, thank you, sir. I, Professor Shamir Daniel, now present a vote of thanks to our knowledgeable keynote speaker of today, Dr. Prashant Kumar Jain, for sharing his expertise and experience with us in the field of CNC machining, sir. We all have learned a lot from this session. Thank you very much, sir. I also thank all the members for their support and making this program happen. Thank you all. Participants are requested to fill the feedback form. The link is provided in the chat box and also mailed in your respective email IDs. So please check and fill the feedback form. Thank you, Prashant, sir, for this wonderful session, sir.
Thank you, Professor Sameer. Thank you. I'm signing off the meeting.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.